God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Okay, here's what I would have done. Bro, no one cares what you would have done. Actually, everyone cares. Welcome to Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast made for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Brought to you by the Embrace the Turn Up Podcast Network. And now your hosts, A-Dub,
B.A.
E-Ray.
Took points that we already said.
He just looked through our chat.
Typed it on.
Heel Bride.
But no. There's a skill in that. I'm not going to take it away from the most constipated man on the universe.
No, we're not going to let him know he's right. So when he listens back to this, we can be like, "Oh, he finally believed me." No, nigga, you still not right.
All right, well, 15 seconds, 10 seconds starter, lead in, because Dub is never right. Yeah, you just gotta let them know. Sometimes hey Dub, you're wrong.
Yes.
And per usual, Dub is wrong. But you know what's right? Guys, it is another episode of Let Me Book the Territory. It is I, E-Ray, the quasi-bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the man of 7/8 teeth, Peen Malenko, the American Cream Brody Loads, Von Swagner at your service. I am here with the extended Fellas universe, and Let Me Book the Territory. We are missing the illustrious Pod Tribal Chief. The most constipated man in America is no longer with us. No, he's not dead. He's just busy. Right? No. He didn't pull an Elvis. He did not take his last on the crapper. He is still with us, just not on this show today. But of course, we have a fantastic fill-in. Again, the extended pod universe. We got Free in the building, Cousin Free, Brody Free. What's going on, Brody?
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Free, aka Free Illuminati, aka Freeman the Demon, aka Booker Free, and last but not least, Smart Mark Tattoo Tears.
Oh, so apparently there's still some carryover from Inaudible Ruckus. We're not even testing these names anymore. We're just like, I'm not workshopping this. Let's just roll it out on there. Got you. And that other voice that you hear is the man with the shiniest head that there ever was. The beanie could not hold him back. This is Mr. Clean's cousin. It is BADBSA. What up, my boy?
What's good, fellas? Yes, you heard the man. It's summertime and we losing the beanies.
Summertime shine.
We getting them ready. But yes,
we shining.
It's BADBIC, aka Black IRS, aka still BA San Martino until we get into it. So I gotta keep reminding the people. I gotta keep that on ice. We may not get to it this week, but we gonna keep on. It'll be a week where we get to have this discussion. But
we gonna keep on keeping on.
Yes, the world's greatest wrestling champion.
BA wants to take down the man so bad.
I want to talk my shit so bad. So I'm going to remind y'all every time I get on this microphone, there's the conversation that needs to be said that is not happening on most podcasts. But yes, I'm here with the extension of fellas ready to get it in.
Awesome. The energy is nice. I feel like we're at a 7.5. I'm going to take this shit to a 10.
Wouldn't expect anything different.
I definitely, before we kind of get into this week of wrestling, all the shenanigans here, the release of the Wale Mania show just happened on Twitter today. And it was pretty much very, very bloodline centric. It was like, hey, bloodline or else.
It was.
It took over.
And fortunately for us, we have a Wale correspondent here. Wale Mania correspondent Free. He put his ones in the air. He said, Is he ready? Is he ready for Cody Rhodes? Is he ready, period? And Free said yes to Solo Sikoa's question. Free, give us a quick rundown of exactly how it was, because if I'm not mistaken, this was your first Wale Mania, correct?
Yes. First Wale Mania. It was at LA at the Novo in LA Live. If anyone's been to Los Angeles, it was in that area. It was a cool experience. I'll say I had fun, but I will also say I probably expected more than I got, considering what it was. Because Wale Mania is kind of a hodgepodge. It's like a live.
It looks that way on Twitter.
Yeah, it's like a live show, concert, party.
It's a variety show.
Yeah, it's a variety show.
It's like you're gonna get some live potting, you're gonna get some ass shaking, you're gonna get some rapping, you're gonna get some just drinks, and then some random wrestling shit, and you don't really know what to expect. Like, to me, I know that's my bag. I loved it. I was there last year at Dallas. I was in the fucking VIP wilding out. What was your experience, Free?
So I had some pros and cons. Pros were, get in the door is $20, so it's cheap for all that you get. So got in for $20. Seeing, a lot of the wrestlers, especially wrestlers of color, kind of being able to kind of come out their shell and be their authentic selves, even out of character. Yeah, was very cool to see. It was really cool to see Biggie and or I should say Trinity now. See Trinity Fatu get their flowers for their contributions to wrestling. That was very cool to see. The Bloodline, you said they pretty much ran the show. They were the only ones who really had an interview. They did a small segment with Adam Cole and Britt Baker, but really the headliners were really the Bloodline who got it in, their interview segment. So that was cool.
That's dope.
And then just seeing like you said, just surprise performance. Of course, we knew Wale was going to perform, but I didn't know West Side Gun was going to perform. He was acting like he didn't want to rap, but he just said fuck it and just did a song. And then Smoke Dizzer did a song. Guap Dad 4000 did a couple songs. So it was a cool experience. Now the cons, I'll say number one, the drinks. I don't know if this was some LA shit or just how Wale Mania operates, but the drinks were fucking expensive.
How much was the drink?
Like $20. For some regular ass bullshit like Hennessy and Red Bull, $20. Like,
okay,
come on, man.
I thought you were talking about like a beer or something.
No, even the beers were expensive, but I think the beers were like $17, $18. Like, it was expensive.
Oh, so you might as well get some liquor.
Yeah, exactly.
That was essentially our experience as well, but it is some LA shit, so it's a little bit of like LA tax on it. Of course,
that's what I figured.
Go to the movies with a regular ass movie with the date is $55 in LA, and I was like, God damn. So I get that.
And then also after a while being there, it just turns into watching other people get drunk and have fun when you want to get drunk and have fun. And I'm like, okay, I think I've had my fill. It's time to head out.
Stop right there, Free.
Yeah, right. Let's put a pin in this. Let's interrogate Free.
Yes.
See, that's where you fucked up. You done fucked up, right?
Let me hear it.
Bill Duke.
Because I wanted to compare and contrast experiences. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. Since I have the bald head, I'll be Bill Duke in this scenario. Free. So with that being said,
was it $20 or $15?
Right. A broke nigga like me trying to go to the Wale Mania. When you're watching the people out on stage, do you really feel disconnected? Because that's always something that's bothered me watching through Twitter. Is how do I get on stage? I gotta be in the know. I gotta be in the circle. Is that the only way you really have fun? Or is the people in the crowd having fun?
To me, it seemed like that to me, and it might have been just because what the Novo was, because if we sat in the balcony, because we were like, we kind of the old niggas in the club, we not trying to be on the floor, mosh pitting and shit. I'm too old for that shit. I went to work that day. I was trying to chill. So we did the balcony. And it even the floor level looked like the balcony was more turned. Like we were more turned than the people were on the floor. But I think as the night goes on, I think you can speak to this. A lot of stuff spills onto the floor, and then even some of the wrestlers come out onto the floor. Wale jumped out onto the floor while he was performing a few times. But the VIP at the Novo was on the side, so I don't think I could have pulled an E-Ray and maneuver my way into it
that's
without
what
getting
we
like body
affectionately.
slammed by
That's what we're
buff-ass Triple H,
affectionately
who's
calling it
fucking
now. Pulling the
swole in
ear.
real life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, it there after a while it does seem to be, unless you're getting just hammered, there does seem to be a disconnect after a while, and it kind of is like, okay, let me get out of here. I've been here long enough.
Gotcha. So you didn't stay to the end?
No.
Oh, Free did not do wrestlemania properly. I'm going to put it out there. And
So what happens at the end?
Right.
What happens?
Does
No,
Nikita
you
Lyons
just-
get
it's just
naked or
the
something?
The
What
culmination
happens?
of everything. and-
yeah, I mean, essentially, it's not necessarily like it's some we the
Yeah.
ones type shit.
Right,
That's not what
WrestleMania
it's about.
pyro.
Yeah,
E-Ray must-
acknowledge Wrestlemania. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I mean is essentially it is one hodgepodge of a party. So it kind of starts with like some organization and then it just devolves.
Yeah.
From my understanding, at least from our trend of Wrestlemania is on what this was Wrestlemania 7.
7, yes.
So 6 was last year, and then they took a hiatus though, so they hadn't done it for a bit because of the pandemic. So we were the first ones back. It was Dallas. A lot of people, you could tell in Dallas, didn't necessarily know what they were getting into either. But it was, I think it was at the House of Blues. So we walk in there, and some people got like their regular clothes on. Some people got maybe some wrestling merch of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So just a very mixed crowd of just randomness. And then it started for us with Kaz and the Masked Man and them doing like a little bit of an interview with a few people. They kind of got the crowd turned up. Then they started with Street Profits. And then Street Profits on stage. Everybody just kind of still filling in and understanding what it is, getting drinks and blah, blah. That's kind of also what started my journey into kind of the schmooze land. Hollywood E turned on. I was like, oh yeah, let me go get some alcohol because I got a drink at first. And I was like, this shit, it was watered down. This was trash. So I was like, they're like, but upstairs, the upstairs bar is where they're selling, I think it was
Terramana,
like the
you
Terramana, yeah, the Terramana and stuff. I'm like, bet. So I just went upstairs, not thinking like VIP or anything. I'm just like, oh, I just need to go here to get the drinks. Going to get the drinks. And then I talked to a lady. So I look like, I guess, somebody of decent note. And they're just like, oh, yeah, here, blah, blah. She's like, you ain't got a ticket? I'm like, no, it ain't. Come on, no ticket. And I didn't know, again, not knowing that you need a ticket or anything. So I'm just going. And at that point, then I got an in. And then I kept going. Then I noticed, like, wait a second. The third time I went up there, oh, it's rocking up here now. And then it has, like, all the people who aren't necessarily on stage yet or haven't premiered on stage. They're at that bar up there. And so I'm just going up there now. And they recognize me. And then the police and blah, blah, the security up there. But I walked straight past them. They ain't say nothing to me. I'm like, bet. So, again, it was just a very interesting thing. But by the end, so I'm having experiences. I'm mingling up there. I see Gigi Dolan and Indy Hartwell, Grayson Waller, the Good Brothers. And I'm like, oh, what's up? So I'm just like, I'm properly feeling it because we done had 2-3 drinks. So I'm like, oh, me and my girl, we there. We're like, oh, we're here to have fun now. So it is what it is. We get up there, we doing that. And then I come back down, and I believe I forget her name, but she's with Cass too on the Say Less podcast. My apologies, I forget her name, but she was there as well, and they were just like turned up. So they got a swag surfing in the crowd, and they playing the music, and they got twerk contests. So it was just shit was going. And I'm like, oh, this is my type of like fun mixture of ratchet, but also wrestling and wrestling fans. And like you said, getting to understand, you're seeing people let their hair down. So also the cross platforming. So we see Ricky Starks, and then Samoa Joe, who I believe at the time wasn't in AEW yet. And then we have, the AEW people and the NXT and the WWE people. So again, all these cross collaborations, people talking, mingling, and yeah, it's just fun. So we're just out in the crowd dancing, we having fun, talking, listening to people chat or rap or whatever. Then we go upstairs and meet some of the people, talk to them and drinking the whole time. So just became an outing, and it was just like, I don't know what this is, but it was just fun to be there and in that atmosphere. And again, you gotta just like to be out in that mix, I would say. So maybe that isn't necessarily what you were looking for, or maybe you just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's
it
just
was
like,
more
I don't
so
know.
I didn't know what to expect, because when I'm in the mix, I'm in the mix. So that wouldn't have been a problem. And I also think it's just logistically, I think the way you described the House of Blues was way different from how the Novo looked, so they had it set up
Okay.
differently. And then I think they'd have that Texas flavor too, because there for sure wasn't no twerk contest.
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize. Let me apologize now. I gotta do some BA Quantum Leap, and I'm gonna rewind about 10 minutes and just say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. LA crowds are trash. How could I forget that? Everybody says that for everything. That's why I was like, why do you bring out verses or any of that stuff? Because those crowds are trash. They never are like, yeah. They're like, oh, we gotta be cool. We just chilling. Yeah.
If you're talking like a live event, yeah. If it was folks just partying, it would have been different. But for a live event, I think there is that factor that some people just think they got to be too cool to really react. To stuff.
No, Texas, they was showing their ass, literally.
There was one dude in the front row on the floor that was losing his damn mind, though. Shout out to that dude. There was one dude on the floor in the front that was losing his damn mind. That was probably
everything. In our version, Wrestlemania 6, that was me, apparently, because again, random guy that I seen at NXT the next day. I think the camera guy. He like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I was like, oh shit, just like this. He probably had the fucking camera on me all night. So when they did their edit video, me and my girls like up front, Smiles is there. We had a ball. But again, I think that does dictate the energy too. So because I believe a lot of the same people did appear there. So Ricky Starks was there. Samoa Joe, RVD and his wife, with the just walking cheeks. Yeah, she doing her due.
She was definitely letting them clap at Wrestlemania.
Yes, so that was a thing at first. It was like, all right, that's cool. But also, Jade Cargo was there. Yeah, Trinity was not there this time, but or Bianca, that would have been dope. But I like to have that interaction. But just seeing Jade in person, I was like, oh yeah, yes,
she's beautiful,
stunning.
Just in real life, definitely.
So, I don't know if Philly is going to be the place
Daniel
where
Garcia was there. You know, he was rapping West Side Gun lyrics. I think that's what got West Side Gun to perform, is that he kind of hyped him up.
So last time, and that goes to show you the difference a year makes. Last time, Daniel Garcia was there, but he was just kind of playing the background because he wasn't on TV that much.
Right.
And then we end up seeing Daniel Garcia and one of the Gun brothers, at Waffle House, like after that, about 2:00 in the morning. And I was like, I ain't even about to bother these. I don't care that much. But again, they weren't even where they are now. But they were just like, oh, that's cool. I acknowledge. I just wanted to like, hey, I know who you are. That's dope. But I was like, I don't know. We're just kicking it. So it was a good time at the same time.
It's funny you bring that up, because sitting in a row under us for a little bit until they either went into the VIP area or just dipped out was Tony D'Angelo, Stax, and one of the Creed brothers.
Okay.
So they were there chilling. So I wonder what their position will be a year from now in Philly.
Right, and that kind of all plays a nice part of it, because that's interesting. But I do know that this time they talked about it, because they were talking about MVPs of the weekend. That we'll also get into a little bit later. But they said they had a green room in the back, so it was just champagne and shit.
Yeah,
so it was a lot more separation than I guess you probably could do in the House of Blues.
That's what I was gonna say.
So that's why in the House of Blues, people are just there, but it's upstairs at the bar, and we got a lot more mingling than the LA crowd, where you could be like off in your section per se, or that VIP area. There's like a green room even that was like, that's how Seahawk and all these other people would just appear because they were on there. So I was like, that's dope. But again, slightly different than what you gonna get in a Texas ass shake
Because
contest.
they are probably like, man, this light skinned nigga with dreads last year was hawking all the wrestlers. We gotta have some separation.
Right, this nigga was everywhere. I was the MVP.
Just goes to show you, man, if you don't look like a mark, it takes you very far. If you'd have went in there wearing like a fucking NWO shirt or something, you'd have been no minutes. Like,
I
So I definitely was marked out. I had my Wale, you know, that Wale Mania collaboration they did with was it Foot Action or something? You know, with the black wrestlers winning championship. I have that shirt on.
Yeah.
So
I
was definitely marked out.
that's cool. No, I'm talking about like straight WWE.com.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Finn
Balor. No.
Exactly. You're
Balor
not
Club.
getting in any VIP
Right.
club.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I had my I forget, it was like the what shirt I have on? The Elimination Chamber 2013 shirt on. I just love that shirt. So I just wore that. It was like an orange shirt, but it's not like super wrestling out. It's just has Elimination Chamber 2013 Phoenix or whatever in orange and gray colors. And it's like, it's a look. It's not just like wrestling fan, but it's like,
Correct.
I fuck
You
with
look like you
wrestling,
bathe
but I'm
properly.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
There you
again,
go.
and that's why I was like, when I seen the Good Brothers and see people like Good Brothers, I'm like, picture? I'm like, do a picture real quick. Cool. Now GG. It was just like be there, and it's okay. You don't have to like be a super mark. And oh my god, I was like, oh, that's dope. I was like, oh, they're right here. Let me chop with them. So
There's one thing I do hope that comes from this in closing. I hope that the E or the dub, not A-dub, but AEW, never get involved with that. I don't want them I don't want them to ever be involved.
Oh yeah,
with
no.
man.
well, I think they tried, and I think there is some type of very small something with them, like where they just like, this is cool, it's an affiliation, but that's it. It's not like they're like, yeah, your talent's fine, exactly, because then when you got Samoa Joe up there rapping fucking Jay-Z
lyrics, no, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the shit that we're talking about. So I enjoy all the just randomness where you can really just be, and I think that you get a nice mixture of that. Some people are going out just to kick it, and then other people are going out because it's just a celebration of wrestling, but not necessarily being wrestling forward. So,
Right.
That, and I think
Again,
that's the beautifulness, the beauty in it.
with that said, I don't know what Philly gonna look like. I was like,
I don't know.
Philly is
well
terrifying.
enough.
Yeah, same.
Like I'm low key scared, but I'm like, well, shit. We grew up in Cleveland. Like we can handle it.
I think just going to our overall point, venue is going to matter a lot. Venue is going to matter a lot as far as how enjoyable it's going to be.
Right.
Agreed.
Because that's what I said. We were like, oh, okay, I know this place. It's just like, again, Free is from the Bay. If you listen to Inaudible Ruckus, you know E-Ray is the Bay. So when you get there, you automatically be like, oh shit, San Francisco is so nice. And all of a sudden you go in to eat and you walk back and it's a fucking fist hole punched into your window. You're like, oh, what the fuck is that? You got bit. Yeah. That's what happens. And you didn't know because it looks nice. It looks like a unsuspecting area. So even then, no matter where you grew up, you can grow in the hardest place ever. It's just knowing the terrain.
Yep. Got to do your research before you go anywhere.
And I think that's probably the most important. And then again, speaking to knowing your terrain, what did y'all think about the difference between Monday's show, which the Raw After Mania being said to be the worst or one of the worst Raw After Manias ever? Might be a little bit of hyperbole, but still, I feel the sentiment. And what we got on Friday, which had feeling minimal Vince involvement in it, and things of that nature. I know we had a few different things. To me, it felt vastly different, but I'm curious. BA, let me start with you. How did you feel about SmackDown?
It gave us some direction that made sense after what we saw at WrestleMania. Like, I felt like Monday Night Raw after Mania was just like, nope, I don't like that. Nope, I don't like that. I don't give a fuck what y'all playing. This is what I want to see. And it's just, you could just tell, it just felt off. And all the tweets about people that was supposed to be involved in the show, not involved.
Yeah.
People that no business being involved in the show, all of a sudden being brought into it. It didn't
The
even
Nigerian giant.
exactly.
He must be showcased.
The
Like,
almost the almost sapien, as they call him on the internet. Almost. The fact the fact that my man didn't even have his gear tells you all you need to know about Monday. But it just felt different. Like I said, it gave us more direction in some of the storylines where we were just kind of like, after WrestleMania, which I think was the biggest takeaway.
Okay. So I don't want to like dwell too much on the show, but it did feel, again, to me, very much minimal Vince necessity. And then again, I never thought Vince was really extremely interested in how SmackDown goes. SmackDown was always the B show for him, essentially. So it feels like that. But it made it better. I watched SmackDown, I was like, oh shit, we started with a match that I like. And here's some more of like the guys that we enjoy working together, or having who was it? The Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. I was like, banger. That's fun. You get all this craziness, again, keeping that same hot and heavy heat going. Even though no Drew McIntyre, so that's still a point of interest. But just having them come out with that, great. And then having like Charlotte again is looking like she's going to be on her hiatus. Rhea coming out, kind of establishing championship behavior, and to me, it just felt like the wrestling show that we had kind of come accustomed to liking, versus the Raw. It just felt like, what is this? This felt like sports entertainment versus the wrestling show that we got on SmackDown. Free. Anything that stuck out to you about SmackDown in comparison to Raw?
I don't remember too much about SmackDown because I think it was really background noise because we were recording at the time, and then I was flipping between the Lakers again.
The Lakers be ruining your life, bro. Just give them up.
That's the squad.
Lakers are like Vince.
They're the squad. So when the squad's on, I gotta watch. Squad takes priority.
It's like Vince.
But my biggest takeaway was just feeling deflated when Riddle came out to make the save at the end of Friday. I believe it was Sami Zayn against Jey Uso. Mm-hmm. And the bloodline was jumping Sammy, and then Riddle came out, and I was like,
yeah.
Why are you pooping on Riddle? I'm curious.
I'm just because they're never going to push him because he's not reliable. So they're just going to be consistently spinning their wheels with him. So it's a waste of time. He's one allegation away from being Velveteen Dream, really.
So,
oh
my God.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
I mean, but
wow.
Do I disagree?
I can't disagree.
I was like, but I wasn't gonna take it there.
I wasn't gonna say Velveteen Dream on this show, but hey, we here now.
Yeah,
we might just have a blank, just like
against the right opponent. He's great in the ring, but I think they've done main rostered his abilities too much, so he's not really showing all he can do that he did in NXT, which is to be expected when you move up. Even if Vince wasn't involved, you still got to have a certain style when you're on the main roster.
You got to have a certain package of moves that, because again, the crowd per se is everywhere from 5 years old to 55 and plus. So you have to have something like, it elicits your response because I know this is coming.
Yeah.
This precedes this. Yeah. So I get that. And I'm fine with that as long as it's entertaining. And I think Riddle brings that entertainment. I was hoping that you touched on it from a different manner. Pause. Know that guy. I do want to get to, I was hoping, and I was a little deflated as well, that Riddle was making a save because I was hoping that they would continue the interconnectivity of the story. I get why Riddle came out because, again, in kayfabe, Riddle was the guy that Solo killed.
Yeah, it's good long-term booking, but I'm just not a fan of Riddle at this point.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I will say I was just a little more deflated about it because I was hoping to get either Cody Rhodes or a new person per se or something like that. And I was like, more so the Cody thing because I was like, that thoroughly pushes him back into it, because he didn't do, and as we'll get to on Raw, it's been like almost kind of how, and this might go to that Cody Luther King, but it's very much like how on like our previous black champions, how when they lose, it's like, oh, it's pretty much a non-acknowledgement that they lost, and then they go on to do other shit, but they don't acknowledge like, oh, I'm mad about this, I was cheated or something, I have a gripe
half the time.
And exactly, and it's like, oh no, we don't need to rematch. Kofi's done. He's back to tag team.
Back to tag team.
Big E doesn't care because he can gyrate, and it's like,
let's give him the matching gear again. He's back in the New Day,
right? And those type of things. I felt like with Cody, as much as it was elicited in the Raw After Mania with him asking Brock, and then that shifting the attention, even then he still comes out and says, as we're getting into Monday now, I lost. It's my fault. I'm not going to complain. It's like, but you were cheated. You've literally fought like the whole bloodline. It's not about calculating for that. Like, everybody else came out too, but the ref sent them away. And then he came out in a hoodie like, oh, we don't know who you is, street champion. we didn't know that was Solo. Like, dude, I can see your feet. You walk, come out with no
feet. Got shoes on.
Mustache,
right?
Man.
Those are the same shorts. Like,
we didn't even try.
Did a street vagrant wander in from Inglewood?
A street vagrant.
Who is this random loose Samoan? Why is he just so loose? He's just coming there. Oh, it's Solo. He had to take the hood off for us to know. No, that's not how it works. That was stupid. But again, fine. I'm comfortable with that. But the fact that Cody doesn't acknowledge it and is like, that to me is more authentically realistic. Even though you're a babyface. Babyface, oh, you gotta be nice. You gotta be good. No, just, I get that. But still, you say, I was cheated. I'm bad. So now I'm more focused, and let that be your motivation and drive you. Like, I had you, and I know I can have you again, and I am obsessed with this title, blah, blah, blah. Fine. And I was like, I'm going to deal with Brock, but don't forget about me, because I ain't forgot about you. Something very simple of that nature. For this Cody promo, there was mixed reviews. Free, what were your thoughts as Cody came out in his all-white suit? And
his Easter suit? He came on.
Yeah.
Big facts.
I liked it. Also, I'm in the camp that enjoyed the promo, because the way I look at it, Cody sees himself as a traditional, old school 80s, 90s babyface. He don't want to be a tweener. He doesn't want to have any edge to him. He pretty much wants to take up the mantle that Cena's getting ready to leave behind. I think that's how he sees himself. I think that's how he wants to be. And not only just because he wants to honor Cena, Triple H, like those seem like to be mentors of his in WWE, but also to honor his dad. So I think that's how he's approaching it. And I think the WWE is breaking him down to build him up. It's going to be one of those Daniel Bryan type of storylines where there's going to be obstacle after obstacle placed in front of him, and he's going to have to overcome them. And hopefully that keeps him heated up until the inevitable rematch against Roman Reigns, which probably won't be that far out, because the latest that I think it'll go is SummerSlam, which is in August, and that's like 4 months away. I could actually see them doing it at a Saudi show, because they always want to give the prince.
Really?
They want to give the prince bang for their butt.
Wow.
Golden Take is upon us, guys. He is giving us
permission to speak freely.
Money talks and bullshit walks, and the Saudis is throwing that money.
Permission to speak freely. You're on.
Overruled. Go for it.
So just to finish off the thought,
I got overruled.
Just to finish the thought, I think it because let's be real, Brock beat the shit out of him. So even if you want a rematch, you got to look at the dude who beat the shit out of you first. That's the priority. If I get my ass whooped that bad, I'm gonna want to address that person that whooped my ass like that. So
are you though?
Yeah,
let's keep it in real life.
Yeah, maybe not. Because that would have maybe knocked some sense into me, because he beat the shit out of him.
I'm like, oh shit!
I don't even know what I did.
Can we have a moment? And BA, I'm gonna get back to you and exactly where you want to be. but I have to know: has there ever been a time where, realistically, have you ever just took an ass whoop, like a real ass whoop? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Facts. Yes.
I'm in the minority here. I have not. So
See,
please,
not like,
you gentlemen.
I can elaborate on my ass whoop. Mine was in the mat wrestling back in middle school.
Okay, let's talk about this.
All right, so
Young
seventh grade BA in middle school.
Kurt.
Right. Kurt Angle was big Kurt Angle fan. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna wrestle. There was no, this is 7th grade? 8th grade because there's a certain
the memory out your ass.
Oh yeah, no, it was 7th grade. Or it was one of them, 7th or 8th grade. It was middle school. Regardless, we would have wrestle offs for your weight class or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I remember it was every Tuesday night because my grandfather would come and he would watch me get my ass whooped and tell me about how bad I got my ass whooped on the way home. Like, damn, why did I even bother come watching?
Jesus,
damn. This is why I am the way I am. I love my grandfather to death because he gave me it helped me as an adult and as I grew up to like not be a bitch basically.
Please listen to our past episodes where BA describes the interesting dynamic between him and his grandfather. But
yes, he's not white John Cena. If y'all go back to listen,
not that episode. Further back. I was like, your granddad white? No, but you really can't see him. This thing ain't tanned, and you
right. But that was some humbling shit for me because I was wrestling against a kid that had been wrestling since like fucking 6 years old. Because you know where we grew up, E-Ray kids just came out the womb wrestling. So I thought it'd be cool for me to just start trying to wrestle.
Greco-Roman.
Yes.
I brought my own baby oil.
Got a cauliflower ear at 10 years old.
Oh yeah, dude. This kids also all kids walking
ringworm and
our
singlets.
Yep,
exactly. It's 7. Like
that's what you learn in good old Maple. But no, in terms of what that taught me, it's humbled the shit out of me, and it gave me a lot growing up in like my high school years when I started playing football and stuff like that, and college football and business and adult years. So yes, to your point about Cody, they are absolutely breaking him down to build him back up. But what you're not gonna hear him say, E-Ray, is any complaints about what happened to him. He's not gonna make any excuses. Because
that's the racial part. That's
yes.
That's the Vince racial part. Because they like, oh, you can't complain. Black people complain too much. So, yeah. I get it. They're like, oh, that's too much. Like, right, just eat the shit and work harder. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Like, okay,
yeah.
All right.
You know, we can't have nothing. So that's gotcha. Cody living that for us.
Cody, gotcha. Well, I do want to ask before I go to Free's experience here. That gentleman that was whipping off on you, putting you in all types of fireman's carries and suplexes and shit.
Yes.
What was because you said he had been wrestling for years and you were kind of somewhat new to the sport, and you guys are in the same weight class, so you're having these wrestle off because to the listeners, when there's two guys in the same wrestling class or same weight class, correct me if I'm wrong, BA, you actually have to wrestle each other to see who's going to represent the school in the actual meet, right?
That is correct, E-Ray. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay. I kind of noticed. I just kind of picked this up by osmosis. I never want to do that, even though I wore the same singlet when I was running. And I was like, man, that shit whack over there. But then I was like, all right, I'll put it on the run.
No, the track singlets was different than the wrestle was. I can tell you that for a fact.
They felt the same. But again, they're probably different. But in my eyes, well, I'm like, oh, being naked in front of people, it's about the same. It felt very scantily clad, let's say.
And then even to put a pin in it after this for my story, I was 140 pounds, and it was like I was like a chubby, like melted 140 pounds in seventh grade.
A melted Tootsie Roll.
Exactly. This was before I got into before I started lifting like a maniac in 9th grade.
Oh, melted. When you start doing baby roids.
Right.
Tight.
According to my grandfather,
you never beat me.
That's a whole nother story. I might have told that on the old episode when my grandfather thought I was taking roids at a point in time in my high school.
Oh no, we will be venturing into this at a later date.
Yeah, but it was the 140 for me was like I said, melted Hershey bar BA, and then the other kid was like ripped in like 7th grade. I'm like, this is bullshit. But hey, what doesn't kill us make us stronger, right?
Facts. You're here now. That kid is probably strung out, living his
oh, no names, please. We know who this kid is.
We'll
talk about it offline.
Right. I don't know
We'll
this guy. He's probably strung out, living his glory days about beating. Oh, this melted Hershey bar kid. I used to whip his ass. He probably. Give me another hit of that meth.
Does not remember.
Give me another hit of that meth.
There's other things I'm sure he remembers, but no names, please. And we'll talk about it after this recording.
Free, please enlighten the fam about when you had a challenging experience with the fisticuffs.
So for me, it wasn't so much of a physical ass whooping as it was like an embarrassing emotional ass whooping. So this was like I was probably in the 4th, 5th grade, and it was recess, and we get to the basketball court first, but like the 6th graders want to just take our court. And this was a day where I decided I'm gonna make a stand. I'm gonna take a stand. We were here first. This is our court, and one of the 6th graders walks up and proceeds to just grab me by the head and give me all the knees. All the knees.
God damn.
And then one of my cousins, I went to elementary school with my cousin. So one of my cousins pulls him off me, pulls me away. It's like we told you not to just leave it alone. Like, what are you doing? So like, exactly. It wasn't so because it's like I didn't have no black eyes, knots on the head. It didn't even hurt that bad. It was just like, man, I got my ass whooped in front of everybody.
Yep.
Like, did he even say something first?
Right.
He was like, I told you. And just start kneeing off him.
Yeah.
What kind of psychopath starts with knees?
And all I'm doing, when you in a headlock or you get grabbed and you just start swinging wildly, that's all I was doing, was swinging wildly, trying to do something.
While Steven Seagal's nephew was giving you the knees.
Right.
Fucking
Right.
Billy Blank's cousin
Right.
hitting you with them Tybo knees. Oh, that probably was Sean T. That's how he developed his
Hell yeah.
fucking program for intensity and insanity.
So I too was
Oh, my
also
God.
humbled at a very young age.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's crazy. So okay, well I actually have that don't really count though. No, I'm not telling this story. That's some wild stuff. It's different time. We will get to it later on. But
Say that for the Patreon.
Yeah. But I thought that was important because again, Cody ain't no hoe. He came in there, put it to Seth Rollins several times straight with a torn titty. That's a legend right there. His titty was was the color of Oprah and the color purple. I was
Meat
like,
hanging
God
off the
damn.
bone.
And he went and gave Seth the business, one of the greatest wrestlers of our generation. Then he proceeds to face pretty much any and everybody, puts on a clinic with Solo days before WrestleMania. Then goes to WrestleMania and has a fantastic match with Roman Reigns. But yeah, what Brock did to him was, fuck. I've been like, all right, man, I might be a mid-carder. I might chill.
Yeah, it seemed
That
very
Intercontinental belt looking real nice right now.
Seemed
I
very,
might
very
go see
personal.
Gunther.
like
Yeah,
that
I might go see
Boondocks.
Gunther.
What did that nigga do to make him that mad?
I might go see
Existed.
Gunther or what's the name instead. I'll mess with Theory. I was like, Theory looking real nice right now.
Yep.
Cause yeah, that
that
Brock
US title
beat
go
down.
perfect with this jacket. I
Right.
wear today.
Right.
I like you said about
Look
Gunther,
nice.
I'll take a chop. A chop can't hurt that bad.
Right.
No.
Captain America. I've become all of the. I am a real American. Like shit, cause. Okay, so I do want to get back to something that Free said. You think that possibly we see the rematch between Roman and Cody as early as Saudi Money in the Bank or possibly SummerSlam Detroit?
I think the
Yay or
latest
nay?
would be SummerSlam. I don't think it goes past SummerSlam. I think they're going to
You-
pay it off at SummerSlam.
You realize SummerSlam is in August.
Right.
It is currently April.
Yes.
That would be perfect if that works out that way. I just am very nervous to see it happen because it's dangerous. You gotta do a full program with Brock. Apparently they announced it. It's gonna be at WrestleMania Backlash. They got rid of the WrestleMania part. Just Backlash, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I think that's a one-off just because they're in Puerto Rico and they want an attraction. I don't think it goes further than that.
So with that said, Cody has to win, right?
Oh, I think he is
100%.
winning. I think he's gonna look good too. I don't think he's gonna squash. If he squash Brock, that's my number one outcome. I would love that so much. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll. Just because I think it would be hilarious.
You're insane.
It would be hilarious.
We getting a 15-minute barn burner that Cody's gonna carry Brock through to make him look better than what he normally looks.
Yes.
I don't think that y'all got this fucked up. But continue.
I finished my thought, and I really want to hear yours. But 15-minute match, Cody wins, looking great. Brock is absolutely fine with putting somebody that's on the up and up like Cody over because he gets it. Mm-hmm. What's the problem? Let me hear it.
No problem. I just don't think that's how it works. I think Cody gets 472 German suplexes. He gets F5 like 6 times.
That's fair.
And then like randomly he somehow musters enough to get it off, and at the end he just kind of like dazed looks like he just barely survived Brock and just pushes it over. If he does what you say, B, I think that's what would be very entertaining and best for business. But I've watched almost every Brock match in the last like 15 years. They're all the same. It's German suplex by German suplex. If it doesn't end within the first 8 seconds, Cody isn't a big monster type person. So we're going to get some working out of him. But with that said, he's John Cena-esque. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to throw your ass around several times. I'm going to look like a monster. I'm going to beat you up and throw you around. And then you gotta work me. And then, he starts to work out of the deficit. But they immediately put Cody in the deficit, getting his ass whipped by Brock. But he just won't stay down. And Brock starts to get frustrated. Then he does something, hurt Brock. And then he gets it off at the end and wins in the end. That's how I see it.
I think you're both right, because I think this, to BA's point, this is going to look more like those Survivor Series matches. Remember those champion versus champion matches against AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan? So while E-Ray, you're right, because those matches did kind of start like that, but because he respected who he was in the ring with, and because those guys were so good, they kind of subverted that normal expectation and turned into bangers by the end of it. Yeah, even if it was short, like 10, 15 minutes. So
we're not going to get a Ricochet.
No.
Or a Kofi.
And I wonder why.
I
wonder why.
Right. Because do we need to say it?
Right.
Right. But look, Brock beat the hell out of Cody because he was like, Cody Luther King, that sounds familiar. You think I want to tag with you? I'll whip your ass.
I smell progressiveness. Progressiveness.
Oh yeah.
Smell like black in here. And then he just beats you up. That's what happens.
I can smell someone has a mixed kid in this area. I'm coming for him. That's absolutely what's happening here.
He can smell the racialness. That's just how Brock operates. At this time, it's the running joke. He doesn't like black champions. Cody is the closest thing to a black champion that we have right now on the. Unless he challenges Bianca. Because I keep saying I'm waiting for Brock to challenge Bianca Belair.
What's that next NXT event?
That's what I was saying. I thought he was gonna go to NXT and beat up Mello or something.
No. Brock don't work NXT.
But there's a segment. There's a segment of the internet who thinks Bianca's gonna beat anybody. That the only person that can beat Roman Reigns is Bianca Belair. There's a segment of people that think
I did see that.
Yeah, if she could make it, because Brock will find her.
True.
Like somehow he just throws him off the scene. Okay, it's fine.
Kick her off the stage.
They can't find it quite per se. But yeah, so I'm hoping that's the case. Nice one-off. They build this up to WrestleMania Backlash. Damn, I can't even say it. It just drilled into my mind now. But Backlash happens. We get what we need out of this match. It's going to be a typical Brock match, but it's going to be good because Cody and Brock, they can sell. They'll be fun. Get it out of here. In the meantime, that means we're not getting any type of Roman on this card, essentially.
And that's another reason why that's your big.
That's your main event,
right?
Yes.
Yep,
makes sense. I'm with that. You'll probably get a rematch of Sammy and KO versus the Usos. I would assume.
Streets are saying it's gonna be
triple.
Sammy, Kevin, and Riddle against the Bloodline.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I mean, I don't like it, but it makes sense for what's being presented to me on TV.
Right.
It makes sense.
Does
I don't like it though?
Does that mean they put Riddle back in that position at the pay-per-view for that one-off against Roman? Because Roman's gonna be on that card at
the Saudi show.
Yeah, Money in the Bank or King of the Ring. I forget which one it's gonna be in Saudi.
I think it's King of the Ring.
Yeah, King and Queen of the Ring or something like that.
Yeah.
I also heard a rumor that they might change the name to Night of Champions because Roman is approaching 1,000 days.
That'd be dope.
That'll really piss the internet off.
I don't mind it.
I don't either.
Night of Champions was dope because they actually used to be like champion versus champion.
They got rid of it when Sting almost died. So.
Oh yeah, damn.
y'all remember that?
Yes.
After that event,
Seth Rollins almost
Night of Champions. Exactly. Night of Champions vanished after that.
That buckle bomb. That buckle bomb was taking out people.
You
don't see buckle bombs anymore either. I don't think in AEW or WWE you don't see buckle bombs anymore. Right. That man C6 vertebrae almost fucking fell.
And now he's damn near killing himself once a month for Tony Khan.
Yeah, the irony. Still jumping through tables.
No comment. This ain't that time. I'm not doing it. You won't get me. You won't get me.
I'm not gonna bait you.
I try to get you to bite, E-Ray. I try to get you to bite.
But
moving on.
We were just speaking about Brock. Brock versus Omos fell as flat as could be. Free, our WrestleMania correspondent, you were also there. Was it as whack in the stadium as it was to us on television?
Actually, no. The crowd kind of popped for that match. And the funniest part of the match was after Brock won, some girl to the row above me, but to the side, was completely flabbergasted. She did not could understand how, and excited that he won, but could not accept. She was, I don't know if she was trolling or if she was serious. She was like, "How did he do it? Oh my God, I can't believe he did it." I'm like, I hope she's trolling. Either way, I just thought it was hilarious and amazing that she had that reaction.
That's crazy.
Whether she was serious or she was trolling.
Was she 7?
This was a grown woman. This was a grown woman.
And this is why they booked that. For that lady. That's why.
Literally, right, for you. Hey,
yeah, the crowd
Jessica 3798 on Twitter. This one's for you.
Yeah, I think that's why they still, it's like BA said, that's why they continue to book Brock in these moments, because the crowd pops for him.
I mean, I get it, but versus Omos, I felt like, oh, they're booking this, so that means it must mean that he's gonna put over Omos, right? No, he beat the shit out.
I thought there was zero chance Omos was gonna win that match.
I mean, if I would have put my thinking cap on, I would have had the same sentiment or came to the same conclusion. But I was just like, because Brock, they already changed the match again. It was supposed to be him and Bobby Lashley, all this stuff that were just changed. And I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna actually build Omos. No, he just whipped Omos' ass and then beat up Cody's ass because he's like, oh, I'm mad because I had to beat his ass.
Yeah,
I'm mad that y'all made me beat that black dude up. I'm gonna beat your ass too.
I don't understand. Match, I'm mad at that. When is Brock ever that, man? Brock was probably so happy he got to go first and go home after. He probably went home as soon as the match was over.
He literally did. He said, "Oh no, hey, I'm out of here, bro. Put me on first. Getting the hell out of here."
Yeah.
But with that said, maybe it did get a little pop or a little reaction from random Jessica 3297 on Twitter. But for the most part, that shit fell flat. I never understood why people were super excited about it. But as we seen on Monday night, There's something that the crowd did pop for. This was genuine. This was not pumped in crowd noise. This was Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. The big boy joy that we needed. The big meaty man slapping meat segment that they
y'all
thought
just hear
Brock
Free's hands
versus
rubbing in the
Humble.
microphone. Y'all
This
just
is
hear
all right.
how
This is
excited
free
this
shit.
man is?
He like, this
yeah.
my shit. He loved.
As
big
soon as
meaty
I
man
heard
slapping
that
meat.
match happening, my ears perked up. I'm like, oh.
It's like hearing your favorite sports team is about to be playing. Surprisingly, when Free hears about big meaty men
It's-
meat on
for
Monday
me,
Night Raw.
For me, it was everything I didn't know I needed. I was like,
Same. I was shocked. I was like, huh.
oh, I
Bobby
need
and,
some.
and Bronson makes so much sense.
I need vitamin B12. I didn't even realize that. It's crazy. I thought I was getting enough, and then when I take it, like, oh, I feel so much better. That's how that match hit me. I was like, this is incredible. I loved it, beating the shit out of each other, and
Man.
it wasn't a one-off. They didn't resolve it. Free, I know how you felt about this, but please give us the moment that you think, and what do you think? Where do you think this goes?
This is how a big man match is supposed to go. Physicality, athleticism, but you're still kind of telling the story at the same time. It's
Yes,
not like
facts.
a plotting match like Omos and Brock Lesnar. They're just big to be big. Like, no, you're big and
Facts.
skilled and talented. That's why I like those type of matches, because it's traditionally not just that they're big, but they're big and talented. That's the matches that
Is it
that,
though?
that
I mean, we've had the great Khali,
no, and those, like I
and
said,
we've had
even though I like the big meaty men slapping me matches,
Giant Gonzalez.
I know there's a
like,
large percentage of those matches that are duds because a lot of the big men aren't good.
can't
But
move.
But
for all of
give
those
Reese and
matches, you get a Braun Strowman Roman Reigns ambulance match where I thought they were going to murder each other.
Bill,
Yes.
so
But-
much fun.
This is what I said. I don't know if you, because again, everybody listens to our show, but I don't know if you heard that part. You probably don't remember that segment. But I said it. The only person that could possibly replace the Undertaker, which is a big man with a great gimmick that could actually work and wrestle, would be Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But they're just booking him so badly. Well, not now. I love everything him and Ricochet is doing. That's
Yeah.
fun for me.
And I
But
think with Braun, it's
prior
kind of
to.
this too. It's a lot of his mouth gets him in trouble too.
yes,
Yeah.
behind the scenes. But
Mhm.
but on the mic, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good guy. He looks great. He looks the
Good
part,
worker, man.
and he can actually move and sell and do some stuff.
Bro,
When him and
When I tell you
I
I,
was
used to
like, I love-
mark out for Braun Strowman, that initial run where it's that I'm not through with you yet, Braun Strowman, dude,
I
popping every time.
When I got back into the product, like circa 2016, 2017,
Listen.
the first shirt I bought was Get These Hands shirt. I have it in my closet right now.
I thought he was. I went to No Mercy, I think 2017, when it was him and Brock in the main event, and I thought he was going over.
you and everybody probably,
Same.
because when I can't speak on this enough. When Braun Strowman took Kalisto, I'm not through with you yet, and tossed him in the garbage can and said, "You are trash."
Well, the one of the
It's one of
best
the greatest moments in wrestling
Braun-
television history.
One
What
of
is
the
that?
best wrestling gifs
fucking
of
grappling hook, and tore down the stage. Who are you, Batman?
with the best. One of the
Man
greatest
flipped over
wrestling
an
gifs
ambulance.
ever.
I'm telling
Roman running to spear Braun, and Braun just throwing an office chair at him. That's
yeah.
classic to this day.
And then Roman selling it.
Yes,
It was
yes.
beautiful. It was so
Incredible.
beautiful.
But
It-
going back
Oh.
to the match, that's how a big man match should work. Like, because Bronson Reed his athleticism is super underrated. Even we've watched him in NXT, we've all watched him. It's still
Facts.
underrated. He's still an underrated worker.
Shit, the work he was doing outside of WWE.
See, I didn't catch
correct,
any of that, but
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think BA said he beat Shibata or somebody like.
Okada.
Yeah, Okada,
Pinned
Shibata,
Okada.
Naito.
Really?
One of them. Nigga,
Yeah,
Really?
right before he came back to the E. Yeah.
Right.
That was like the last big E he
I was
did
like-
before he got re-signed.
so
Yep.
well, damn.
and I just love that it was a non-finish, and they had the
That's
little
how you
mini
know.
pick apart. So I just hope, but
and a good pull apart, not the goofy
Pick
shit
apart.
that almost and Brock were doing.
Pull apart.
But or Brock and Brock and Bobby, because that shit was getting stupid when they were had their little feud. As far as the
the
security
storyline
involvement was stupid.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like this is only a TV feud only. I don't think it's going any further than that.
I'll say this. If it's a possibility, if we get behind it, they're gonna acquiesce to what we like. We seen, or by chance, if it continues to get over, because I seen them do some shit that I was like, I don't want to see this, and they kept doing it, and it worked, and it was Sheamus versus
I know where you're going. Cesaro?
Claudio.
Yeah,
Cesaro. And I was like, why are they doing this? And they're like, well, we're going to have a best of 7. I was like, I didn't ask for the first one. But it just kept banger. But I was like, oh, okay. I'm in. By the time they before pre-bar and teamed up, I was like, these matches are incredible because they just letting them go, killing each other. If they do something of that nature, or when the tag team matches, when it was Usos and the New Day barely able to get on the pay-per-view card, they're on the pre-show having the best match. They still in the show at the pre-show. That type of just freedom to work and two guys that can actually work. Because when we seen fucking Bobby pick Bronson up and toss his ass, he was hype. I was like, oh shit. I got hype with him. It's infectious. Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi-bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're going to get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're going to get. But that shit is popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out. So again, when it's done right, which it often isn't, because most of these people, they just get them old basketball players or just random people that are just huge, but they don't have the actual strength and etc. to do the things. It makes it different. But in this case, I loved it. So that was incredible. I have nothing bad to say about that. I want more of it.
Just don't make them a tag team.
No. That's absolutely not what we need. But I think this is exactly what Bronson needs to get him to where he needs to be to feel like a real credible threat. So I'm like, oh, great, because we were just talking about that. So having be somebody.
Let me ask you, because I know you're the resident Uncle Howdy conspiracy theorist. When there are some pauses in the action with Bobby getting ready to do the Hurt Lock, did you think that Bray Wyatt was gonna do some weird shit? Because I did, and I was worried about that.
I feel like I should pour out some hen or something for the White Rabbit,
Low
Uncle
lights.
Howdy.
Take a shot for the low lights.
One of the few times Vince was right.
Man,
I mean,
I don't know if he was right. I don't think I hope whenever they tell the story about whatever the fuck Bray's booking's been since he turned into the Fiend, I'm gonna be all eyes and ears on that, because none of it makes sense as far as the presentations, the little clues, the matches, the Wyatt 6. Which I heard a crazy idea about, which I'm gonna touch on in a second. But it leaves a hole in my wrestling heart, Free. In all honesty,
the idea
same here, because I was
makes sense.
Like I was saying, I was marking for Braun Strowman in his heyday, like Eater of Worlds, cult leader Bray Wyatt. I was a big mark for him too, and even the Fiend initially. That first SummerSlam against Finn Balor when he came out with that metal version of his theme song, I damn near I was ready to fight my girl. I was like, I'll snap your neck right now.
God damn, Freak.
So
she's like,
but it just feels like I know you're gonna touch on this in a little bit, so I'll end it with this. It just feels like that he got to be creative without any type of ceiling put over it. and this is what we got.
Yeah.
I feel like this was all him. I don't think he can blame anyone else. I could be wrong, but I feel like this was
I
all
don't
him.
know. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think
know.
So,
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
You good? You ready? No, talk. You good?
I don't think so. I think that they initially had writers because they had like the horror writers, the people from Black Phone and all this other stuff working with him. And I think as Vince started to push his way back into the company, a lot of things started to change quickly. They were like, oh, well, this, and it was like, because that sale was still looming and Vince was getting his way on this and he's been interfering since. I think it was a lot of like, all right, well, we want to do these things and we got some grandiose ideas, but then that stuff, it just was like too long form and they had to start cutting things.
Correct.
So slowly but surely, it just started to fall apart where it's like, oh, well, we can't do Alexa Bliss because she's gone. She's off TV for months. Can't do this with so-and-so because it just kept going low and low and low.
Yeah.
Go ahead, B.
My brain's about to explode because y'all bringing so much to the light on this. Because I sit on my Uncle Howdy, so because nobody wants to hear that shit on this podcast
at all.
So thank you for bringing this up.
Hey, I had to ask because I was a big Wyatt fan too for a while, but it's hard. It's hard for me to support now.
You're not the only one because it's like you said, and Erase point as well. They gave that man everything he asked for as far as creative. He had his own writers. He had people that are working in big horror movies, helping out his whole presentation and what he was trying to do. I think there's definitely something to it's too long form. We don't I get what you're doing, Brave, but we don't got the time for that from a wrestler's eye point of view. I think Alexa having the skin cancer messed up the whole storyline.
Skin cancer.
Skin cancer scare. So
yeah,
she doesn't actually have it. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you for clarifying that. But regardless, that's why she left for a little while.
Okay.
Because I think that's what either put, I'm hoping, a pause on everything until she's healthy and they can bring it back because he's still around, or they gonna I love it. They gonna put it in a different direction. Now, Free, I don't know if you saw this on the internet or not lately as far as Rumorville, but they have been tossing around the idea that Hit Row could somehow be the Wyatt Row 6 or some shit like that.
Please,
it fits,
because they show like Huskus the pig.
I know.
And
Top dollar. B-Fab
as
Ashanti Adonis. I'm with it.
Please let that be true. Oh my God.
The reason why it makes sense to me is because it would give them something to do, be on TV. They're very they get it as far as presentation and the stuff on the mic. Where they're lacking at is the in-ring product, the work rate and stuff.
I'm glad you said that last part, BA, because people shit on Hit Row like they're not inexperienced. Like, I understand they are brought back with a lot of pomp and circumstance, but they're still very raw as wrestlers.
They're very raw.
They're getting shitted on a lot. Even Michael Cole shitting on Top Dog. My God, why are you burying your own talent?
Because it was like, oh, let's have a fun internet joke. Let's point out the obvious. Yeah. But I will say, I was against them getting called up.
It was too soon. It was too. They were starting to do Swerve. Yeah.
Right. It just didn't make any sense. But honestly, BA, now that you mentioned that, I like that idea way better than the schism. Because I was thinking I thought you were going to say the schism, and I was like, the schism technically fits that too. And I hate ass. They got nothing else to do.
I think
it's easier. It fits easier.
Because the Grizzly Young veterans I guess they pieced out or are going to piece out.
They were on it this past. We'll get to it in NXT, but they were on TV this past week. But I think the whole
they
schism,
tape a few in advance.
Okay,
NXT.
got you. But yeah,
it's probably I think that whole thing's about to die.
When you bring that up, BA, there's nothing more in wrestling I want now than that. But the caveat, they gotta keep rapping. They gotta keep rapping.
Shit.
Go horrorcore.
Oh my God.
Like some Parappa the Rapper type shit.
No, they gotta go horrorcore like fucking Juicy J and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some 3-6 Mafia
Devil's
shit.
Night shit. Right. Oh yeah. But yes, that's honestly, Frito, like that's what gave me a little beacon of light. Like, would they do that? Because that shit because
Vince is turning that down so fast.
That's it. I mean, yeah, I gotta know he's gone for sure because there's still signs he's still that mustache is still floating around. So I don't know.
He's not gone,
Well,
and we can talk about that. The
Yeah.
thing is, as of right now, Vince is still very much in full control. The only thing now is, I want to say, maybe Dub. I don't know who to credit with this. Maybe it's all. We were right. The thing is, he's not going to be at every single show, but he's damn sure going to be around where they need to submit for final approval.
Right.
And
Because that's what I was going to say.
Then he's not going
That's
ever.
That's what I was going to
So-
say. I think Vince is comfortable with Triple H doing the day-to-day, running the show how he sees fit. But if Vince sees something he doesn't like, he's going to let Triple H know, and he's going to be forced to change it. Which could still suck because that could be maybe Triple H's big ideas, or maybe what Vince is like, no, I'm pushing back on that.
And has. Because
Yeah.
all the changes have been, for the most part, in lieu of Vince making them. Because certain things will happen, then change. I think Monday's episode was a little bit different because I heard there were a lot of changes, but it was due to like travel.
Flight delay.
Travel.
Yeah, flight delay.
Yeah.
Because
They said,
until I read that, I was like watching this. I'm like, man, you can definitely see what's Vince and what's Triple H. But reality was, it was just they were atoning for people not being there, which usually leads to some of their best content when they have to scramble and do shit. Like because that triple threat match, that women's triple threat match was fire.
Which women's triple threat
The
match?
Mia Yim, Piper Niven.
Io, Misha.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that because they gave it time to breathe.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'll be honest. I really didn't get a chance to watch it. So I was like, it was cool. I was watching it, or maybe it was watching me more so. I was just doing some other stuff.
Right.
The things that I really enjoyed, which we'll get to, the heel turn, which I wish they would have let this breathe though. It's how should I say it? It's kind of like I wish. I don't hate what they did, but I wish it would have had a little more time. I'll say kind of like Denzel and Man on Fire. I wish it had more time. And then he puts a bomb in someone's ass and blows to the pieces. Yes, that is what I'm thinking about.
One of my
except
favorite act threes in movie history. Sorry.
Except for the bomb need to be in Lita's acting, because goddamn, that was terrible.
Look, so like, is it her knee? Is it her head? What's hurting her? I'm confused.
I don't think Lita knew what to sell. That's the problem.
Look, if her acting is this bad, how did Matt? Never mind.
Hey. Hey.
So I'll leave it there.
It's all about the final destination.
V 1.0. But I will say, I was like, they shouldn't have pulled the trigger, because again, that plot device of title changing is essentially what led some of our favorite wrestlers, Mercedes Moné, out of the company, because it's just, we're just gonna use it as a plot device, and it doesn't give that title some prestige. Like, you got Liv Morgan and Big Back Pose as the champions now. Like,
I mean, what gives me? I'm gonna try to be devil's advocate. I'm about to put on my Al Pacino.
Put on your horns.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I'm not. I mean, I don't think it's as random as y'all think it is. I know it's just a random pairing of two ladies that don't really hang out with each other on television, as far as with the kayfabe aspect. But the fact that Triple H has openly said how high he is on Raquel, it gives me a little hope that they're not going to just use this as a plot device to get it to the next person, that they gonna actually let her use this to give it some name. Now, the first one, what she had with the Leo, and if you go back in old episodes,
damn, that shit did happen.
I found out. not only that, Free, I don't know if you listened to the episode or not, but I thought Aaliyah and Aaliyah Mysterio were the same fucking person. That's a whole episode. I don't know what episode that was, but go back in the back catalog.
Put the belt on Rey
episode.
Mysterio daughter. What the fuck?
That's what I said. I was like, "Hey, she's still fucking Buddy Murphy." That's what I was thinking in my mind until
These
Dub
are
and
facts.
E-Ray just
Holy shit.
blew my brain away. Pause with that one. I was like, "Whoa, that's a different person." So,
that's
with
wild.
that said, I'm hoping that they're gonna let Raquel build this up because they said that they like her a lot as like the next one up, like Rhea is right now. So we'll see. I'm gonna give it 2 weeks.
I have ammunition to shoot that whole idea down.
Oh no! Put your AK away, sir.
Nope. Got
No guns allowed.
Step off, Grandpa.
See, I think
I'm about to let that shit
I think
go.
BA's right to a point, but I think it's really about just Trish and, or maybe not Trish, but Lita probably just wasn't going to be available for that much longer, so they had to get the belts off.
Available, or they were like, you've reached your ceiling. You ain't got it.
Could
no
be
more.
that too. Yeah.
Versus Trish, who actually
You're not gonna tell the
does.
Hall of Famer that.
Yeah, because they let Goldberg do whatever he wants.
At the end of the
But
day,
at the same
still,
time,
this
they're
is-
women.
and then at the same,
Even though they
also
pushed the
time,
wrestling, the women's revolution, how many mid-card women feuds do you see on the product? I would say a big
Not-
goose egg.
Yeah,
So-
not any.
So there's
I'm
no
hoping-
limitations placed on them.
But Lita still gets a pop though.
She
That's
does.
all they fucking
She
care
does.
about. So I don't buy she's not good in the ring because I mean these women stopped wrestling for a reason 15, 16 years ago. Like they didn't want to.
That's not the reason.
What is the reason?
You think the reason because they? What do you think the reason is that they stopped wrestling? Because they couldn't do it no more. No, because that
they
shit had a
didn't wanna do it
ceiling.
no more.
It was like get in your draws or get off the TV. That was the ceiling for women's wrestling 15 to 20 years ago.
It's true.
They
Bra
were like,
panties matches.
I'm sick of showing my
regular
phone
staple.
and having sex on live TV, quote unquote, with Edge. That is what they were supposed to have happened. Then they were like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. I can probably just like leave here. And then as they start seeing the product change, they were like, oh, let's usher in these other guys, champion Sasha Banks, the Beckys, the Charlottes, the Biancas, the Ios, the Asukas, etc., so forth. Because Bailey, the Revolution is vastly different than where they were. So that's why I think they stopped 10 to 15 years ago. Because shit, Trish Stratus made her whole yoga brand. She was like, I don't need this shit.
Didn't you
I
think they
get
have
in
like a
great
family
shape.
too? Didn't you want to have a family too?
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
part of
all,
what
she has
all
a
the
family.
things,
Yeah. Mhm.
all the
Yeah.
things. But she got a couple more CCs and she's looking great right now.
Ooh.
So again, I will say this: Trish is back in rare form. Lita, not so much. So that this is one thing that plays into it. But again, credit to them as Hall of Famers. They did push us into loving women's wrestling. I believe at the time for sure, Lita was definitely a part of the women that were pushing the boundaries, doing the moonsaults and the sentons and the shit like that women just weren't doing at the time. Basically, all you would get from women were the bulldog. So again, no shot at her career. But what I'm getting at is she wasn't necessarily getting it done, and she can get the pop. But for them to carry the belt, I feel like this is a plot device in twofold. One, because yes, they are trying to move Trish into, because Trish constantly comes back, but it's for like a quick one-off. This is an extended stay, so she's going to be doing some heavy lifting now in a feud. And what better to turn her against Becky, who is one of your biggest baby faces right now. Also, they are very high on Raquel Rodriguez. So that's why they put her with the person that always gets turned on. Liv Morgan has never had a friend. They always beat her ass.
Big back pose heel run.
Yes,
But
it's
really,
coming.
The funny thing
I'm here
is,
for it though. I'm so sick of her smiling. She needs to be
big
tough.
smile. The funny
Yeah,
thing
the
is,
big-
what's her
big
name?
facts.
She actually spoke to that. They did like a backstage. She was like, "You're not going to turn on me, are you?"
I never.
But you know what, kayfabe, she can make that'll be payback for her slapping the shit out of her a couple months ago, which I still think is a hilarious moment from the last few months of wrestling.
That's all I'm saying. what person is tagged with her. Liv Morgan has almost had more tag matches or tag partners than Natalya, and we know how those go. They just throw these people with anybody. Liv Morgan, because they like Liv Morgan. They're like, oh, Liv and random said person here, and that person always goes up to elevate because the one person that she just had a tag with is now the women's champion. So again, it's inevitable.
I think they like Liv, but I think they know there's
says.
a ceiling to Liv. Like, for whatever reasons, Liv just hasn't went to that next level. I don't know if it's just because
they like her character because it gets over. People like her.
She's like Alexa when they put her out there. She's very
and
popular
no.
with kids.
Yeah, because Alexa's way more skilled.
Yes, and that's why I say I don't want to.
I'm speaking it on it from a why is she out there so much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but she doesn't have the size or the go that everybody else did. She had she held the belt, and no one thought that she should hold the belt. Even the people that liked her was like, "What is this?" Because no shot to her. She tried to do what she could with it, but it just didn't work. And we were like, "All right, when is Ronda come to take this belt or Shayna or somebody?" And we just kept waiting for it. And when it happened, we were like, okay, that felt right.
Yeah, but we can move on.
Mm-hmm. Right, Bianca, Rhea, Io, all these other people feel like credible threats, and that's what I'm getting at. I think this plot device was twofold. But again, what I would have loved to see is actually going and having, Lita's hurt, so now I'll step in and I'll be your partner, and they'd be partner for like a week or two, but you just see, like, again, as I said in the first interview that they had all three of them going, she's kind of the third wheel. It looked like Trisha took an Ambien during the match. Whatever, my face, I'm tired. They just do like some little, and that's when people start calling it like, oh, she's about to turn heel. They start calling it immediately. So just having a little bit of heel stuff in their run while she's holding the belt, and she's like, she's like, I'm the champion, bro. And then like, oh, that was weird. 1 week, next week they do something else, and they showcase the belts weekly, and then you know what I mean. Just like you're doing this and you're building it. Just a quick build. It only takes 2 weeks. That's Raw, SmackDown. Bam. There you go. And then the next week you have them lose it to them after it's been like 2 weeks now. So it makes sense. But for them to just do it that fast, it just felt too rushed. And I was like, I like the turn, but I didn't love, like, I never like when people just randomly lose the belt. I was like, ugh.
Especially the random pairings like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It gives the title no cliche.
Right.
No cachet.
Like, yes.
Very cliche.
Thank you. Very cliche. No cachet.
But I'm with you.
I mean, the U.S. title is a great example of that. From where it was at when Vince was allegedly left and where it's at now. That title was DOA.
I lost my egg.
Oh, God.
Must be my title.
You need to stay away. But that title was just DOA. But now that's like one of the most, that and the IC title, they couldn't have booked those any better as far as making those titles matter so much fucking more than they did this time last year. Facts. So why can't the women's title get that same rub? I think that's
the women's tag titles, because they shouldn't
women's
exist.
tag titles. My bad.
Because there are no established women tag teams. They're only random pairings. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think Vince had caved to the demands of the women's locker room that they wanted the tag titles without putting a plan in place to actually support the titles by having an established tag division.
The crazy thing is, and I was just reminded of this on Twitter, the Iconics were like the only legitimate women's tag team to hold that belt. Mm-hmm. But do y'all remember? Because I remember when I was watching this, people were not happy that they were the first women to hold that title at the time.
Well, because they knew
That's who they beat.
It was because Bianca, or excuse me,
but
Bianca.
It was a tournament.
It was because Sasha and Bailey were like, oh, y'all are supposed to be the ones. Like, this is why the title exists, because of y'all friendship, the way y'all were going about it, and y'all like preaching for a secondary women's title. And I honestly don't think they were clamoring for a women's tag title, because again, it doesn't make any sense. I think they just want a secondary title, and for whatever reason, Vince was like, well, here's some women's tag titles, but we're also going to make NXT women's tag title.
That was the mistake. That was the mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they would have kept the tag titles as they were, women's tag titles as they were, and let them just float around to SmackDown to all these places to be defended, that creates so much fun. But to make two of them, it's like addition by subtraction would be what it is now, but it happened in the inverse. It's actually subtraction by addition.
Yeah.
So you make neither of the belts count by adding two belts that don't even have like two legitimate women tag teams that aren't just pairings of people that are friends or anything like that. It's weird.
I'm hoping like from a corporate mindset, this is like when companies are talking about their goals throughout the year and their long goals and their short goals. I'm hoping this is like something that they know in the background as they get ladies ready for Level Up and Level Up to NXT and NXT to the main roster. That this is all consciously in the back of agents and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Prince Albert's mindset as they get a hold of. Right, I forgot his Asian gimmick.
Tensai, Lord Tensai.
Yes.
Can you imagine if they got to go to Gorilla and call that man Lord Tensai?
You imagine if he was dressed like Lord Tensai in Gorilla?
Or wearing them tight ass shirts when he was Albert.
Right. Jesus.
But what I really want out of this is just, can we have some mid-card women feuds, please? Especially on Raw. You got 3 hours of content to fill. You can't have at least one mid-card women's feud?
Right. The ladies don't get no respect on the main shows, man. It's quite aggravating because there's a ton of them sitting back there and catering that they could easily do some shit with. It's just, I don't know. It just it brings back the same theme. I hate it that fucking Vince is still lingering in his fucking old ass around there. And this is the question I was gonna ask when we brought up the Vince shit.
When he died. Oh, sorry.
That's the answer to everything. Now, do y'all think? And I'm sure Trips can hold out, but like if we were to sit Trips down, shoot him up with truth serum, what is he saying about what's happening right now? Like, is he happy with what's happening?
This is one of the best WrestleManias. We sold 80,000 tickets both nights, and
sell.
Right.
I think.
What else you gonna say?
I think he's not. I think he's not surprised. I think in the back of his mind, he knew this was a possibility. But I think he's like, until you take this away from me, I'm going to keep doing it how I want to do it. And if you want to step in, then, hey, I can't do anything about it. So I think he's taking it and running with it, honestly.
I think he took the note from... I think if it gets any worse, because right now, the only reason why I believe he's still there is because Vince allows him to do his thing, and he might make some minor concessions so it doesn't completely blow up what he's doing or what he's building. So Vince having minor input, just kind of guiding the complete vision from a higher level is fine. If it gets more involved in that and he again goes back to I'm in gorilla position and all this shit, I think Triple H pulls a Stephanie.
I can see it.
My dad's back. I'm out.
I think there is some truth in Vince not wanting to do everything like he used to, not wanting to be at every single event. I think there is some truth to that, and I think it's like you said, Erie. I think it's slightly overblown. All people are thinking, like you said, Vince is already sitting in gorilla. He's not doing that. I think he's like, Triple H, you can run the show, but if I have input, I'm going to give you my input. Exactly.
Right.
But I also think we forget that I think Triple H is a little more like Vince than we give him than we care to admit. Triple H did get a lot of the game in the business from being under Vince. So I think there's a lot of Vince in Triple H already. And we saw that with some of his booking decisions as these changes started to come around. Some of the stuff kind of fell by the wayside. Some of the stuff.
In what way? You got. I'm gonna make you stand on that one, cause
I would say the Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis, that shit wasn't working. I would say,
main roster.
Yeah, main roster wise. I'm talking about the main roster decisions he was making.
See, I see that differently. I hear what you're saying, but these are the same things that he built on NXT, and it's just, again, the inexperience is figuring out how do we get it to translate, because he's doing the opposite of what Vince did. Vince would say, hey, NXT doesn't exist. You're on the main roster, so we're not even making stories make sense. Triple H was like the opposite. Things that you've seen on NXT, you're going to now see on this level. But some people who didn't see it or didn't get it, it's not connecting. So it's like, okay, we got to represent this, but to this audience. So we can still give you the same characters, but we got to still grow it and do some things
right.
So I think that's what makes them different, because it's not necessarily that things aren't going to work. That's wrestling. Shit don't work. Some things that look like, oh, it's surefire work, it doesn't. And things that you like, this will never get over, does.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If things worked here, it doesn't work there. Or things that didn't work there. Because we got Bianca Belair as Jane Cena right now. She never won the NXT championship. Ever. She was in we were just mentioning it today on Twitter. She was in her Black Lives Matter super black gear and got choked out by Shayna Baszler in a lackluster run. I will stand by that. That Shayna Baszler run was not it. But everybody was sucking them tits for the reason I do not understand. And I'm like, no, Bianca Belair should have been champion. But Io, what's old girl name? The Pirate of the Skies.
Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them people took L's to Shayna. And what is Shayna doing now on the main roster versus what is Bianca doing on the main roster? It's just things translate differently. But for whatever reason, whatever they didn't see in NXT, the main audience can't get enough of. And vice versa. Some shit like Johnny Gargano that people couldn't get enough of on NXT, they have to figure out how to present this in the same way to the main roster, where they're like, I need to care about this guy in a land of giants
that's what
he looks like
Johnny.
A child.
Yeah. That's the problem. And that's why I really fear for his presentation never translating. Like they took away the cool stuff that made him cool. Like they took away Rebel Heart.
Yeah, this new version is whack.
I don't like it.
I mean, he did have a good performance in the Elimination Chamber though.
Yeah, and that's what they, and that's like to E-Ray's point. That was them trying to.
What has happened?
And
since?
that's exactly. I said that was them trying to give him a different way to present him. We're gonna put him in there as a workhorse with Seth. They're gonna start off the Elimination Chamber, but to E-Ray's point again, there was no follow up outside of NXT Stand and Deliver and fucking the weird stuff happening on the main roster with Dexter Lumis, or main event when they throw Johnny on there. So he's like low key in the blender right now. Somebody's about to turn it on. It's not going to end well for Johnny Adams as we.
I think there's still time there, because like you said,
I'm with you.
He had to be presented a certain way in NXT, and I think they forgot that because they were just like, oh, he is Johnny Takeover. He's Johnny Wrestling, because every NXT Takeover match was a banger that he was involved in. They tried to present Johnny Wrestling to the Raw crowd, and the Raw's like, why do we care about this shrimp guy? But what they didn't see was him actually doing what we loved about him in NXT, wrestling. It was like all the story and the bullshit. We don't care about that. You got to see Johnny like work, get his ass whipped time and time again. It's essentially just Daniel Bryan, just on a smaller scale.
And that's how I thought they would go with him, is he would be a new Daniel Bryan. And honestly, I think even when he was first introduced,
it's still time.
There was some excitement around it. But I think what came after that kind of deflated it a little bit. The shit with the Miz and Dexter Lumis kind of
injuries. It's a plethora of things.
Having a kid that he went home and took a paternity leave for.
It's a plethora of things, and even having Tommaso Ciampa hurt. Yeah, because that's the guy when you want to have him and the Miz. So it could have been the Miz and Tommaso versus Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. That instantly gets people involved, and then they keep their feud, kind of like Kevin and Sammy. You're going to, these are certain things that people understand, or if they don't, they can build into the packages. It makes sense. It's going to work. It just has to be presented a certain way, and you need time to work. So I'm comfortable with all of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Give it time. But what I will say is, because we kind of move way away from there, the time, I guess the time of it all. is there anything else on the main roster that we need to really care about? That regardless of Vince or Triple H is kind of presenting to us.
I don't think so. I just hope I hope the tag team scene kind of turns up. I hope they just didn't put the belts on Kevin and Sammy just to put them on them and that's it. I hope the mid card stay important, as BA was saying. That's
a given.
That ain't going nowhere as long as Gunther
mid-card,
is IC champ.
Well, the mid card is a given. I'll say the tag matches. That's the true testament to see the tag belts.
Yep.
If how much difference there is between Vince and Triple H. 'Cause Vince ain't never gave a shit about tag team wrestling. Yet, and the Triple H's NXT Black and Gold, that was some of the best wrestling there was. It was in the tag team division. So I think we will understand it there and we'll see. But speaking of, how about we jump to NXT, gentlemen?
Might as well.
Things are happening, and I will say, we got some new challengers for certain belts. We got some repeats, like they just fell asleep at the wheel. Oh, spam that. We'll do that again. It's like when you, hey, I don't know how to play Mortal Kombat. Just keep pushing the A button. Whatever. Just do that again.
You'll hit somebody eventually.
Right. You do something. Get over here. I don't know how to do that. Just keep pushing X.
Flawless victory.
Few things are completely in place, and I think they're important to mention. Your boy, Free, Braun Breaker, has turned heel. But he's also lost that title. Thank God. The king is dead. Long live the king. I love it. Melo is there with the belt. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen there. But thus far, what are your thoughts on the presentation of heel Braun?
I like how he did it because it was kind of a double turn.
Yes.
And usually double turns are pulled off in a match, but it's like they kind of did this in a segment, which I thought was pretty cool execution. So I'm interested to see how heel Braun does, and heel probably works a bit way better for him because he doesn't have to talk as much now. He can just kind of do his power moves and bark and look a little scary, and that'll work a lot better for him and allow him to develop more without all that added pressure on him. And then I'm really interested to see how face Carmelo works. Is he still going to keep that edge that he has, or is he going to revert back to when he first started in NXT and be that Carmelo again?
I mean, I like them both. I'll be honest, but at the edge, he always had like a little bit of edge to me. But just as he's garnered that persona of being like, I am. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's he's on fire. Mm-hmm. He's going crazy. But getting back to heel Braun, or as I like to call him, Death Row Braun, because he came out Suge Braun with the cross and the black turtleneck, no sleeves. There's a floating theory going around from the most constipated man in America. He's not here to defend himself, so I'm gonna lay it on you guys and see where you take it. BA, I'm gonna go with you first. Dub seems to think that Braun is not long for this NXT world, that he is on his way out of here within that draft that I think is in 2 weeks.
They said a few weeks. That was clearly Vince saying, let's give him something to be happy.
Whatever I write it.
Yeah, soon. So coming soon, Braun Breaker to Raw. Or do you think this heel run actually gets some legs a few months?
I think he might get like a heel match, and then he's probably out of there.
Okay.
You're in the dub.
Yeah, you're in the dub zone.
I just like. I think they gotta let him spin. He's never been a heel, and we were talking about like Hit Row not being ready. What makes y'all think Braun Breaker's more ready than Hit Row was? Outside of him being the champion in NXT, a questionable one at that, as far as presentation and believability and such.
Talk that
so
talk.
he gotta get this heel run in. And it's gotta be less dog barking, less gremlin face dog, or whatever the fuck we was saying. And we need more of that. We need more of that Steiner math in that boy. We need Uncle Scott in him. So
come down
man.
with the chain mail.
Yeah.
We need was it Robert Stone? We need him to be paired with Robert Stone because he just left Von Wagner. Thank God. Go ahead and have him do his thing and be like, listen here. This man is a monster. He is a dog. He is a dog-faced gremlin. And you can't see and just talk his shit, go out to the ring and let Braun just beat up on people.
Yeah, I was loving
Instantly
that shit, man.
wins.
I love that he destroyed Chase U's whole MVP party for Duke. I was like, hell yeah. I'm here for this blacked out Braun.
You can go ahead and take my place. I don't care about this championship. This championship was a burden to me. Now let me just beat some ass.
And then I'm going to go home and put Cora Jade in the Steiner recliner.
Man.
Facts.
Twice.
Tap! Give me the visual tap. That's all he wants. But I'm okay with that. So Free, you're telling us you think one and done. He's out of here. I'm out.
Yeah, because I just think the main roster sees the value in him, even if he's not ready, and it'll either make him or break him. But to BA's point, I wouldn't mind seeing him get an established heel run in NXT. So if he doesn't get called up, I think that'll be pretty cool.
And I'll tell you this. I'll end my point on this whole subject with this. If you'll know if Vince is here, if he's drafted or not. Because if he's drafted,
that's definitely a Vince move. Yeah, it's a Vince move.
He drafted and they still let them
drafted
get his
number one over.
Oh yeah, if he's drafted number one overall,
number one drafted the blue chipper.
He wins the U.S. title in his first match.
Right. I might have to cut off wrestling for a couple of weeks if I see Vince is here.
Look, don't blow another big four for me because so far. I've been having some great times. If I end up at another Big Four PLE, and I gotta watch. Hey guys, I'm Braun Breaker, and I'll just be yelling sometimes. I don't know the loudness of my own voice.
E-Ray, don't jump through the computer screen at me on this one. But
oh Lord,
where the Steiners from? And where's SummerSlam?
Ooh,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I'll roof to that. I'll roof to that.
Oh man, E-Ray look like he's in an electric chair.
Hey, he's gonna beat E-Ray. He's gonna beat Gunther in 10 seconds for the IC title.
Oh man, it might be right.
2 spears and a 1, 2, 3.
It might be right.
I will. Wait, how? I don't know. We will do the math on this eventually. We'll probably tweet it out. But last time I checked, Honky Tonk Man was the longest reigning IC champion.
I
think they're trying to get him
out of there. Honkometer. That's what we were saying.
They're trying to get him out of here.
Shout out to the Professor Nick Harris on Twitter. Great follow, by the way. He had mentioned right after WrestleMania, right after Gunther beat in one in triple threat match, he was like, we need the honky meter now. We need it.
The honky meter.
Well, that's a better name for it.
It's a better name for it is. As nobody likes Honky Tonk Man anyway. He's not a good dude.
But
so,
I'm thinking, depending on when that is, I think it's pretty much safe. They're getting these records out of here. So you're getting that 1,000 days from Roman, and you're definitely getting the honkometer out of here with Gunther. He's too close. It wouldn't make any other sense. But I will definitely say this. I need Braun to actually have a heel run. Most of the time, just like The Rock, just like Stone Cold, just like pretty much anybody that you can think of that you love, people really get to express themselves and really get to play out of the box and find what their wrestling character is and what works for them by being heels. Because you got all the leashes, no pun intended, off the dogs when it comes to being a heel. So you actually get to be able to just play around with the crowd and do some things and see how that works. When you're a baby face, you're pretty much just fed scripts unless you're the guy. You're just like, oh shit, I just gotta say this, or I gotta be corny as hell. Like, that's what almost killed Roman Reigns. Look at him now. Just because of heel run. This is his first heel run. That shit just still ain't ended. His first heel run has lasted for almost 1,000 days. Here you go. We'll talk about that another time. But please give the boy Braun some work as a heel for a considerable period of time in a smaller venue, in a smaller market as NXT, to let him understand the crowd and understand how to get the responses and the things to do. So that way, when he gets up to the main roster and the big arenas and shit like that, he actually has a little bit of like experience in that role. Because again, they hotshot him to the top with the title. Like his whole career is going to be cut short because they're just not doing him justice. He's going to be one of those guys that has go away heat. The NXT venue is just like, man, fuck off, Braun. Get out of here. And now he's evil Braun. It's like, okay, we'll give it 2 weeks. We rocking with this. So that's all I'm saying. I can see it happening. It would be lovely if they allow this to have some legs. There's no rush, especially if this draft ain't in 2 weeks. But I'll definitely say out of that, speaking of like giving something some weeks, Carmelo Hayes, our new champion, is now rocking against Grayson Waller. I mean, I think I can easily speak for everybody's face here. That ain't it.
I don't like it.
Not to start. Not his first big match.
Grayson Waller was just there, and they did a fatal 4-way with pretty much the same guy. Dragon Lee came out. I was like, didn't you just lose for the North American? How you just gonna put, hey guys, I'm new, so I don't know the rules. I just challenge for whatever. Cool. All right.
Facts.
Big Head McDonough. My head is so large, I gotta be in this match.
Who can't win the North American title to save his life, but feels a need to be in this match.
He can't really win anything, honestly, for him being perceived as such a threat. He don't win
at all.
Irish Charles Lee Ray needs a win for me to take him serious. That's all I will say.
Dumbala, give me the title, I beg of you.
Give me your body to match this head.
Bride of McDonough. Oh shit, guys, bear with us. We love horror movies. It's a thing.
Man.
Just let it happen.
We can't help it. We can't help it.
But yeah, it's just didn't understand that. I love Dragunov. That's always gonna pop me. So Dragunov can do no wrong in my eyes. But yeah, McDonough, Dragon Lee, like all right, Grayson Waller. And who they should have won, because this would have been a really good change and a good start for something new. Duke Hudson, the MVP of Chase U. That shit was incredible. I'm like, they gave him the spot and everything, but I think what they tried to reinvent the wheel too much. And like, oh yeah, if we have Duke do so good and then make him lose, then that's really gonna give Grayson some heat. It's like, it's not the type of heat you want, though. It's not like, if you want to give Grayson that type of heat, say Grayson doesn't show up, or it's a triple threat, but then he's talking to people in the back while the match has already started. Then he just runs in as a Duke is about to win, hits him with that stunner and wins. Like, he didn't do no work, and he just hits him with the move and win. Now that's a way to get some really good heat. I love that. But to have him just in the match and do it, and I'm like, no, well, Duke should have won. That would have been funner to see, like, oh, Chase U going for the gold.
I agree. Something different, man.
Yeah, and then you can play on, maybe you keep playing on with that Zook. You can play on Duke being that possible heel turn again. Or you could just have him get outmatched and outclassed, because nobody's expecting Hudson to win. So it's fine. That's just the first kind of warm-up match. But to see Grayson Waller back in that spot, it's probably going to be a better matchup, because he's not just over match like he would have been with Braun, where you're like, okay, what can you even do with this? This is stupid, but still, it just doesn't work for me. His work rate doesn't make me want to care about matches that he's in. Like, oh, this is gonna be a banger, even though he's a heel. It's like, I just don't care. Is there any difference in sentiment? Anyone, tell me.
No, I'm not really trying to see Australian Miz in the main title scene right away. Maybe eventually. I think he can build himself back up to get there because he is a good heel, a natural heel
For sure.
But like you said, his work rate isn't there yet, especially going up against someone like Carmelo. Now, I know they had a match a few weeks ago or months ago. That wasn't that bad, but it's not something I'm in a rush to see again.
Who Carmelo and
Grayson, right? Yeah,
Grayson
I believe they.
Grayson was just in the. Grayson was Braun's last feud.
Yeah, I know that, but I think before
well.
that feud, he had a match
like,
with. I think it was still when. So it might have been a while ago because I think he still had the North American title.
North American, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. They were going at it, but even still, it's just like it just feels useless to me. I could be wrong. This could be fun. This could be great, but I don't know. It's got to be in the build, and they got to. I don't like the face turning they're doing for Carmelo. Let him do his thing, but it's still early. It's like week 1, but I'll need to give the man his teeth. Allow him to be just as tweener as what got him in this position in the first place. Stop giving so much respect and start demanding your own. That's all. That was a simple concept. BA, any thoughts on this?
I mean, in all honesty, like when it comes to the whole just like picture with how they're booking that out, like I don't know, like I'm not mad at how they're doing it, but it's like it gives me fear as far as like if it continues on in that fashion, and I don't know, it's gonna be wild. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I just saw a work email that scared the shit out of me. That's why I trailed off there. So yes, sorry. I had to
keep it together, BA.
Yeah,
good.
sorry.
I know the feeling.
I have to tell y'all after this what I saw. But yes, you guys had it.
Grayson Waller is now buying BA and making him do his taxes.
Right.
Oh
Basically.
my God, it's the scariest thing ever.
The Grayson Waller stuff. Thank you for bringing me back. The Grayson Waller stuff is. I don't know, like but I'm not high on it is because we've seen it before. I got excited already when I thought he was gonna do the thing and get back title off of Brian. He didn't do it. He's definitely not gonna do it off of Melo. What's the fucking point?
Bam.
That's my sentiment around it all. And I like Grayson Waller. I love the shit he's been doing since I got into the product. Like the first time I saw him, he was fighting with our guy LA Knight when he was on NXT. Yeah. So with all that said, it's not like I don't dislike him or think he sucks as a heel. I'm just like, we've seen it.
Right.
When you eat the same thing every day, eventually you're going to look around and see, well, what's that motherfucker eating over there? I want some of that. Where's my other heels? That's all I'm asking. Why can't we prop
was
up?
Was that a euphemism for cheating? When you eat the same meals sometimes you gotta look around the corner and be like,
you a wild man, my
what's
friend.
that? Is that some pizza?
I'm
sick of these mac and cheese.
Anyway, let's just go back to this
next segment, please.
earth-shattering email I just saw because I ain't getting involved in that. No,
next segment, please,
sir. Right, I was just talking about food, man.
Right.
You ready to make this into
chaos reigns supreme.
Oh my God.
Yes. Well, that's the one thing. I guess we can kind of close out here. Guys, Indy is our women's champion. That popped me like crazy. Am I alone here?
No, that shit was awesome.
I think it was well deserved. I think I was more surprised than it popped. I thought she was just becoming an afterthought in NXT. So it's definitely well deserved.
But that's why it popped me. I was like, oh,
I would have liked to see Roxanne's run go a little bit longer, but from what you've said, what you guys have said on the show, she needs to develop more of a character, because if you even look at when Indy had the belt, Roxanne is on the ground smiling. I'm like, why are you happy? You just lost.
My brain hurts.
Always.
She can't help
Zoe
it.
Stark doesn't respect anxiety and
Right.
mental health awareness. I was like, that segment sucks. I was so upset at that segment last night. I was like, this shit sucks. I don't need I feel like I'm at work right now. Next. Sorry.
I don't want to watch this info.
Yeah, I think Indy Wynn is signaling that Roxanne is not quite ready yet, which makes a lot of sense because she was like
Big
jump started
facts.
as soon as she got to NXT. She was just coming straight out of wrestling school. It seemed like her.
Because somebody has some extracurriculars going off. The champion of all champions had them extracurriculars going on. They're like, oh, we got to make a move. Hot shot it. And then they gave to Roxanne. I was like, I love Roxanne, but it just was too soon.
Yeah.
And I think she's still learning. She's great in the ring. She's just learning how to do the other things.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the past, how she's just not there yet. So
Yeah.
I didn't hate the anxiety thing. It just, Zoe Stark clearly had like evil intentions, and
Yes.
you need somebody to meet that energy, and she's not. Well, anxiety is my championship cause, and I'm gonna be excited to beat your ass.
Whatever.
Like-
Where's Final Boss?
Right.
Equal this all
Do some
out.
squats. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So everybody came out. Cora Jade, where's the beat? Fuck JC. He's been on my team. Just start ethering the whole locker room. Tiffany Stratton looks like the heir apparent. She looks.
It's only a
like
matter of time.
They're grooming her for the role of new champion. But Indy is with the smoke. I love Zoe Stark, but it looks like she's just like king heel to put other people over.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Mm-hmm.
She will probably get it eventually, but right now I think they're going with like the hot hand, if you will. I love what's going on in the women's scene. It's so much fun. Even with the tag belts, you got fucking elbow fire and I love dog. And love that.
Can
Booker
I just
T
say I hate
never has been happier.
the worst angle in wrestling is the Briggs and Jensen shit. Can we talk about that?
Oh man, Free, if I could high five you right now.
What you mean,
brother,
the
I
A
would.
story of NXT?
Man.
The E-Ray, bite your tongue.
It's the A,
That
is- story?
This is Shawn Michaels' baby.
I watch
Like,
You need to go.
I watch
the Days of Our
I
Lives
watch
with this
AEW
bullshit.
and this is the worst story in all of wrestling.
Wow, that is the
Damn.
quote of this episode.
Well,
That's all I gotta say, because that shit is ass, and I hate it. I hate it so much, and I'm so happy Free is here to agree with me as to why is this shit on my TV. I don't want it. If I wanted to watch it, I'd find some bullshit on Netflix. That's a reality show to watch.
Yes.
Because at least I know that's not wrestling, and this has no business in my wrestling.
Well,
So
damn.
yes, I hate
speak on it. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
That
Floor
shit
is
is
yours.
garbage,
we got
man.
we got Kiana, she's half black, James, and
She's black.
and-
like,
and
she's black.
the question
She,
mark.
she's black.
and
Fuck
Fallon
you, San Diego.
and Fallon hating ass Henry or whatever her last name is. This whole angle is just about how Fallon is a hater. It's really what it is.
Facts.
A cock blocking
Yeah,
ass
you
hater.
cheat so corny.
That's my
It's
brother.
so
you
corny.
cheating? Okay, I was cheating, but we weren't exclusive yet. You cheat? Mind your business, bitch.
Right,
Go to my
goddamn.
purse, Jensen. Go get the strap. I'm black.
This-
And is it just me
This
or
nigga
does
Jensen
and,
whipped.
and I'm not trying to just pick on Kiana here, but it looks like she has like those plastic wigs you put over your head where it's like you can see the line. Doesn't it look like she has one of those
That
on?
lace front.
It's like why are they pulling your hair back so much? Like y'all need some black hairdressers back there because y'all killing her, man. Y'all are killing her.
See, this how you know Free been watching wrestling with his wife too much.
buddy.
She
She
definitely
right
made
out
that
like, look at
comment.
that
My
She-
wife
yeah.
definitely
I-
made that comment. She did.
Hey, when you got a black woman in your house, I know how it goes. When Sasha and all them and Charlotte them extensions was looking a
Oh,
little
yeah, my
crazy.
wife-
Oh yeah, my wife
Always
always,
making comments.
points
Natty.
it out. She always points it out. Yes.
My girl
Yes.
like,
I'd be like, they don't want to mess up their real hair, baby. Let them have
she's like,
it.
well, at least they could have did it
Costumes.
wherever. I'm like, ooh,
Yep.
Man,
Mhm.
well,
like damn.
hey,
Yeah,
it
they
be
better
hard
get
on the
there.
road.
That's a message to the ladies. Like
Message?
they better get some melanin in them backstage hair dressing rooms because black women are watching and they're not happy. That's all I'll say.
Bianca be coming out. That should be laid. They go, oh, how you get that long ass braid? What y'all did with that? Like, yeah, it's different. It's different. So,
way different.
Again, we're watching. But Kiana James still like, look, Jensen, take your white ass to the car, go get my purse. I got $15 in change in there, and you better bring me all my change, and I got the strap. So when these hoes start acting up with that weird voodoo shit, go get the strap. He came out there like, bitch, hit her in the face. And she like, I'm not cheating. And then she got sacrificed because of it. That's what you get.
It looked like what's her name really hurt herself too, or she just did a hell of a job selling.
Nah, I would be extremely surprised if Elbow Fire does not have a concussion or a broken neck or something. Like she caught a pile driver, and I looked, and she got up and was like, oh, and fell back down. I was like, that might be a sale, but the way she fell, and then she kept doing it, I was like, oh, she. And I've really noticed hurt.
Them Swanton bombs. She's been cutting it close to those Swanton bombs for a while now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's double trouble because she definitely caught a very savage pile driver to the neck, and I was like, oh, that didn't look right. So, and especially with somebody who is doing it as in Fallon Henley and not somebody that I trust 100%. No shade to her. I'm not saying she has any type of injury history or anything like that, but again, these are more so newer workers to the business, or at least to the NXT stage, versus somebody like the Final Boss, somebody like Sasha Banks, or even Elbow Fire, somebody who has been working for quite some time. So I was like, ooh, that did look a little interesting. But yeah, I love everything that's going on in NXT with the women. But this Kiana James and Fallon Henley stuff is Briggs and Jensen stuff. They finally gonna do the breakup. They're gonna do a mixed tag match. Jensen gonna get the strap from Kiana's purse and let Briggs have it.
Everything about it is terrible because I hated Briggs and Jensen before this angle started. They were trash before this started.
Everyone did.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Briggs
and Jensen.
Fallon has some potential. Kiana is way too raw. So
they don't know what her gimmick is for real. Like, is she like a business lady? Right. Is she like?
And if you're a business lady, why are you wrestling?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always confusing to me.
I don't know. They don't know what.
Right. Don't you want to acquire this bar? How
she has a very 90s gimmick.
Like,
I'm a businesswoman, but I wrestle.
Yeah, like when they had jobs. Yeah. When everybody had to have a second job. I'm a garbage man, but I also wrestle. Like, okay. Yes. Yeah. I guess it's better than 80s with the Shock Master or whatever. But I don't know. Guys, it's just one of those things. I will say this, though. Thus far, NXT is still very entertaining. Dragunov ended Von Wagner's career. So, down with Von Wagner. Long live Von Swagner, baby. I'm in the building.
I hope you're being correct when you say that, because I thought Why did I sound German? I sounded German. I thought he was going to be one of the first wrestlers fired. When I heard NXT don't play that and they were getting people out of there, I thought he was going to be one of the first ones. So for him to make it this far.
Oh, somebody's very high up on him.
Yeah, but
I was about to say they're in love with something.
He sucks.
He was on SmackDown for a little bit, just like doubling as just a big dude with a brow. I'm just here.
He sucks.
I was like, I don't know why, but it's literally the size. He's just one of those guys that's really big, and I'm not mad at it. Look, get your check. I'm not advocating for anybody to get the axe, but I am happy that it's like, all right, well, now Robert Stone has a chance to possibly get with Braun Breaker or somebody else, because when they put him with Von Wagner, I was like, this ain't gonna work, and it didn't. And they broke up and brought him back together a few times.
His highlight was almost killing Wesley. That was the only good thing he's ever done in NXT.
Damn. I can't think of nothing good he's done. I will say this though, Dragunov is that guy. He feels like he needs to be the champion. I would not have been mad if he was the NXT champion or the North American champion. I think he needs one of those belts soon. And I hope it's the North American because I don't want Melo's run cut short by somebody else's ascension. Because I think it's just one of those things that plays out. Other than that, guys, I want to go ahead and cut it short. Again, we're doing these supersized episodes. Don't get used to it. We're going to trim y'all asses down soon. Yeah. But today just wasn't that day. Free, thank you so much for jumping in with us, being a part of the extended Fellas universe. My Bizarro twin that always has some hot takes that make me go, what? Gotta love it. Please tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at despicable_free. Find me on Instagram at freeluminati, and you can find me every Saturday on Inaudible. Well, not every Saturday, but you know I'm there on Inaudible Records. You know, we be rotating.
I'll be there. Look, you thought about
cast of personality.
Okay, not every Saturday.
Yeah, I get there when I get there.
Like often.
Yeah, but that's the benefit of having a rotating cast of characters. You never know who you're going to get.
Right.
It's more fun that way.
Absolutely. Like, surprise, surprise. Right in your eyes, bitch. I'm here. BA. Where can the people find you besides in Mumbai? Because we are out here. They love us.
We big in India.
Big time. Tell them.
I can't explain it. Maybe they gonna ask us to come to the next overseas show. That's how big we getting overseas.
Look, when one of our merch drops gonna be some funny shit. Like, hey, y'all fuck with us. So, you know what? Leave some comments. Leave some comments. Yes. Leave some 5-star ratings. All our Indian.
We got 44 reviews or 44 ratings, and we thank you and appreciate the 5-star ratings. But why are we 5 stars, y'all? Let us know.
Or don't sell us. Just leave 5 stars and then say something ridiculous, and we'll read it on air. Cause
I want some comments to read, y'all. So if y'all listening to this episode, y'all already know. Y'all follow us at Let Me Book Pod on Twitter, at Let Me Book Pod on everything else. Twitter has been cooking lately. I appreciate all the engagement. I'm gonna keep it coming. I know E-Ray and Dub will keep it coming when they running the pod when I'm busy. Or excuse me, running the handle when I'm busy. But yeah, man, leave some comments. I want to make some lewd comments outside of my own that I make on this show every week.
But okay, so I want to take it there. Yo, he want it
rude and crude and yeah, stuff I get
right from Zach 1837. Titties 5 stars. Love it.
Yes.
Good job.
I need it.
That I love it. So love it. Want some more of it. Guys, keep leaving those comments. We are just cruising up the ranks. Again, they're just seeing what y'all already know. This is the best wrestling podcast of all time. I promise you. Yes. You don't get it no more here. And guys, if you want to know where you can find me, it's on the Instagrams, E_RAY_ the bad guy, doing my grown and sexy shit. Not really sexy, just doing lawn work. If you find that sexy for some reason, I'm your guy. Also, you can find me at E_RAY, the hipster, on the Twitters, having the most, I would say, interesting wrestling takes. And, just stirring up general trouble, per usual. And, guys, again, we got to say it. We fucks with y'all like y'all fucks with us. So let us know why and just keep it going. Because, look, the merch is coming, more content is coming, and the Mumbai Hive is out there. We see y'all. We see where these downloads is coming from, and we encourage other people to get like them because we are men of the people. We are 3MB, 3 men that happen to be black. Yeah. They love wrestling. So guys, as Dub loves to say, to sweet me when you see me, when he's not on the toilet. As BA likes to say, the polish makes the head shine brighter.
Earl shine.
Like Free loves to say, I ain't down for that. and as I love to also mention, sometimes it's okay to just let the madness wash over you. Yeah. Guys, this has been another episode of Let Me Book the Territory. Stay with us. Come back next week. We are out.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.